Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing the Memento build that I took to the most recent locals that I went to. I did pretty good with it, and the only losses were to Draco Tail because I'm just not familiar enough with Draco Tail and I wasn't playing all the stuff that I should have been playing to beat them. And the other loss was against Primite Blue Eyes because I made a bad call, and if I had just trusted the deck, I would have won. I also went against Dark Lords and I won, and I went against DDD and I won. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be going over first the main deck, and then the extra deck, and then the side deck, as usual. So let's start off. Gonna be playing the one copy of Combined Creation. Everybody noticing a lot of these cards are the original prints. It's because I picked up Memento literally as soon as it came out. When Valiant Smashers came out is when I got the deck, and I just haven't gotten many of the reprints. And the ones that I have gotten, I don't have a playset of them, so I'm not really playing them. Next up, 3 copies of Darkblade. He's pretty solid going second, especially with Draco Tail in the format, and I was expecting some Radiant Typhoon, but I ended up not facing it. Next up, Anglich, pretty solid starter. 3 copies of Tatsuno Toshigo. 2 copies of Goblin. 1 copy of Mace. I played 2 copies of Sleepy, and I'm so happy that I did because the double Sleepy came up in almost every game. And there was never a time where I was just sitting there thinking to myself, dang, I really need to add Sleepy from deck to hand right now, but it's in the grave. Or I was thinking to myself, dang, I wish I had another Sleepy in the grave right now and another one in the deck, which is stuff that I've had happen before. And the having another one also came up if someone would Tatso, or if someone would try to use a negate on one of my monsters and I could chain Bone Party and summon Sleepy from the deck. Let's say I activate like Goblin to destroy one, and then they chain a negate, and then I chain Bone Party, summon Sleepy, and then I just get to send an extra card. And then I could send Gaddock from deck to grave, special summon Gaddock, and Gaddock would add back the Sleepy, and then I can use Sleepy's effect in the hand, special summon, and then do a fusion. It just came up so much. I was super happy with it. And it's probably what I'm going to keep doing going forward. Played 1 Gaddock, 1 Akihiran. These are very standard. I played 1 copy of Horn Dragon. This is the card that I sided out more than probably anything else. The effect when he's destroyed came up, I think, once or twice. I played 2 copies of Drone Lockbird. This would have been Molcharmi Fubulos, because both of them pretty much play the same role for Memento. You just want to stop your opponent from building a big board, because if they only build like a half board, then you can easily tear through it. I played Droll though, because I was letting my friend use my Molcharmies. I played 1 copy of Mictlan, that's pretty standard. Played 3 copies of Bone Party, very standard. 3 copies of Fusion. Some people only play 2 copies of Fusion. I wouldn't do that, especially in this build where, for example, you'll be discarding Fusion off of Darkblade because there are a lot of relevant decks that set up some macro. You'll be discarding Fusion off of something like one of your quick play spells that require a discard. And having Fusion in the graveyard is really nice for if you get hand trapped. You can still banish the Fusion and then add another quick play spell. So you can get your stuff going. You can add
Quick
another
note while
Fusion, or you
editing,
can
you can
add
also
Bone
use
Party.
Memento and Fusion to dodge the Draco Tail trap that banishes a monster from the grave, and that came up during my match against Draco Tail where he tried to banish Combined Creation from the grave, and I used Fusion to put it back in the deck.
Next up, I was playing 2 copies of Grand Breakout. 2 is good enough. I don't need a third one. 1 copy Called by the Grave. 3 copies of Super Polymerization. This card, I never drew it once. If I had, I would have won any game that it would have come up in. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I drew this card at least twice every round, and it was really nice. I'm super happy that I played Droplet. 3 copies of The Fallen and the Virtuous. This card performed really well. I'm super happy with it. I'm going to keep it in because it just goes super, super well with the way that Memento plays. And especially this build of the deck where I'm just trying to keep my opponent from being able to reach a big enough board that I can break through whatever they put up. It's super helpful, especially in the grindier games like the one I got into with Dark Lords. This card was a lifesaver. I played one copy of Forbidden Crown. I was borrowing it from my brother. He pulled it from a pack, and I never used it once. Never drew it. I sided it out a lot. It would have only been good going first some games, but just the decks that people were playing there, it wasn't that good against them. I played one copy of Talents and one reinforcement of the army, just in case someone tried to hand trap me. I resolved Talents during the tournament, and I didn't resolve Rhoda. I played one copy of Cranium Burst, and I played one copy of Infinite Permanence. The Infinite Permanence is only in here because I was playing Thrust in my side deck, and I just needed a good card to set face down in case my opponent didn't have any monsters on field. That was pretty much just logic with Imperm, is it was one good set off of Thrust. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. Oh, and real quick before I get into the extra deck, I drew Combined Creation almost every game. It was funny. Alright, on to the extra deck. This is going to be a little different than most Memento builds, but it shouldn't be anything that will be hard to understand. I was playing 2 copies of Creation King. This guy was absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with how he performed. Next up, I was playing 2 copies of Twin Dragon. I'm super happy with how this performed, especially with the slower build of the deck where I was using a lot of quick play spells to try to stall my opponent and just out advantage them over time with Memento's innate ability to break a board and do a lot of damage. And Twin Dragon, especially at 2 copies, when you're playing 2 Sleepy, it was just the right call, and especially if anyone happened to be playing Kashtira. There were some people who apparently were thinking about it. Unicorn banishing Twin Dragon would have been really good, and I was just ready. 1 copy of Guardian Chimera for fusion, just in case. I never summoned it once. 1 copy of Dragostapelia for fusion and for super polymerization. Never summoned it once. 1 copy of Garura, 1 copy of Mud Dragon, both of these for super polymerization. Never summoned either of them because I never drew it. I was playing 2 Albion and 1 Dragon that Devours the Dogma for the Fallen and the Virtuous. I was very happy with these. I was playing 1 copy of Typhon. I never summoned him because there was always a better play, but against the decks that were there, he would have been pretty solid. And then for the links, I play 1 IP, 1 SP, and 1 copy of Rabbit. Rabbit is for some cards in the side deck, and then IP and SP, those should be pretty self-explanatory. Now on to the side deck. I was playing 1 copy of There Can Be Only One. This card was really good against everyone that was there. I'm really happy that I played it, but it just never came up once. I never drew it. 1 copy of Apophis. I won almost every game that this resolved, and any game that I even drew it was a game where it immensely helped me. I won some games because of it, and other games, if I had used it right, I would have won. 1 copy of Shadal Core, along with El Shadal Winda, just so I can make Winda on the opponent's turn, and then come my turn, I can banish Fusion from the grave, pop Winda, and then search another copy of Fusion, and then I can still play. I was playing Dark the Dark Charmer, Selene, Queen of Master Magicians, and I played Borrelsword Dragon. I'm meant to play Access Code Talker. I even had him in my hand before I left to go to the tournament, but I set him down to pick up something else, and I just forgot to bring him with me. After that, I played 3 copies of Evenly Matched. This card would have been nice if I ever drew it, but I didn't. 3 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. This card came up, and it just pretty much baited negations. 1 copy of Raigeki, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. I ended up losing to Harpy's Feather Duster, and that's why I didn't get to the top 4, is because whenever I was playing against Primite Blue Eyes, I thought to myself if I should side in Apophis, and I didn't play Apophis, and if I had, I would have won the game. Which I was pretty sad about, but at the same time, it shows that the deck was working, but I still need to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! And something I'm going to keep trying to do over time. I'm going to keep practicing with Memento. The deck is pretty great. And as for this channel, it's still mostly going to be dedicated to zombie content. There's going to be some stuff for other decks as I find neat things. Like I posted the one card Dark Magician turn skip combo on my shorts. If you're interested in that, you can check it out. Um, but yeah, that's the Memento deck. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It performed really well, and if it had a better pilot, it could have performed even better. But I hadn't played Memento in quite some time, and I was a bit rusty. Anyway, whenever I get the new zombie cards, I'm going to be making a video for the zombie deck. I'm going to keep testing it and doing as much as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. I try to reply to every comment, but it might take a bit because I'm pretty busy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have an amazing day.